So my name is Shingi. I'm 25 years old and I've been living in London for the past 4 years now, and I hope it sticks to 4 years because I'm trying to move back home. Um, I grew up in Spain from ages 10 to 21, hence wanting to move back home. I'm from Zimbabwe. Well, my family's Zimbabwean, even though I was born in London. I am a full-time fashion and portrait photographer slash stylist, part-time illustrator, because since photography became the main thing, illustration was put to a side. Yeah, I'm currently learning how to DJ, so I'll probably call it overall creative because I'm doing the most right now. I still don't think Beyonce would hire me because that was a very weak introduction. Um, my affirmation for today would be, don't think about the small stuff. I don't stress about the small stuff too much because I feel like we tend to overthink about nonsensical things most of the time and not actually look at the bigger picture. Yeah. If you had a book about your life, what would you title it? So I would title it, Are You Ready? Because are you really ready for this trip of a book? Because, yeah, too much information would be in that book, I think. What inspired you to create? So I had open heart surgery 5 years ago. Well, 6 years ago now. Well, nearly anyway. And when telling my parents that I wanted to do photography as a career and, move to London to actually study photography and more about fashion, they weren't really convinced. And this was before I'd gone into art school. So I was probably about 15, 16 at the time. And my mum didn't think it was a very realistic thing to do. She said, always go for the side. That's a side job, but always have your main job. So I could probably be like a journalist right now or or a psychologist. You never know. But I think having had heart surgery, I was like, I'm going to do what I want to do because I've had this life-changing experience. I need to put my time and energy into this. And I feel like having done so many great jobs and opportunities and exhibitions in different, cities and countries, I think I know my parents have seen that effort I put into everything and, the passion and everything. And yeah, I guess my surgery inspired me to create, Also, let me go back to that question. I think when I feel like the fact representation, and I feel like my work is basically that. I feel like that really motivates me to create because there's such a lack of representation of, plus size models, disabilities, models of color, and I really want to push that out there. Yeah. What was your first camera? Wow. So my very first one, I can't remember, but it was a family camera that we had in the house. Those small compact digital cameras that were first released like back in the mid 2000s kind of. So that was the very first one. But the second camera that my family got, which I also claimed, was a Nikon Coolpix P90, and that actually was released in 2008 or 2009. Yeah. Who was some woman in the industry that you admire? So Marseille Martin, who is in Blackish. See, I've always liked her because of her character in Blackish, but now with this movie that's coming out where she's the executive producer, she's just gone up to the top of my list because it's inspiring to see such a young person, especially a young black woman, doing that. It's just so inspiring. I wish I was her. I mean, wow. That's crazy. And I really can't think of anybody else right now because she's literally blown my mind with that news. I think somebody else, and this may sound a bit cliche, but I also find Rihanna to be somebody to look up to in the industry because of, her beauty campaigns and her Savage Fenty campaigns as well. The models that she has on board. I mean, it's amazing to see that in the industry. It really, really is. And I really can't think of anybody else right now. And this is so bad because I've got a whole ton of people I look up to, but off the top of my head, I really can't think of anyone. Trey Taylor-Ross. I mean, she's very cool. I love her. Second mom. How do you define beauty? I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I really don't know how to answer this question because I'll come back to that one in a minute because I don't know how to answer that. Tell us experience of your very first or favourite shoot. So I'm going to answer both of those. So my very first shoot was when I was still back in Spain with some friends. And it was just fun, you know. You were just shooting around in this abandoned building. I asked them to dress themselves, you know, pick 3 favourite outfits. I remember always doing that with people. Pick 3 of your favourite outfits and, you know, we'll shoot around. If I look back at those pictures right now, it's embarrassing, but that was my first shoot. My favourite shoot, see, I've got too many, but I think my first favourite shoot was when I finally bought my first camera, because being at uni, you could hire their camera, so I only got my first camera last year in the summertime. Was it last year? No, I'm lying. It was the year before. Wow, time flies too quickly. I can't do this. So it was 2017 in summer. I actually purchased it in New York because it was much cheaper. And I then got back to the UK and I remember going onto Instagram saying, you know, hey people, I've got a new camera, I want to test it out. And it was kind of like a competition thing. You know, if I want to comment or DM, we'll get the shoot. And amazing model, she didn't have any experience whatsoever, and we got some amazing pictures, which to this day, I love them so much. I love that shoot so much, and I will add that into the images that I'm going to send you for this interview. Do you feel as if women photographers have a strong support community? No, we don't. Period. We do not. We really don't. It's a struggle, and if you're of colour, it's even worse. I mean, I think the photography industry is very hard to get into anyway. It's more like who you know kind of thing. And again, like going back on the colour thing, it's hard when you're a creative of colour. People don't treat you in the same way. I feel that people look at you as if you're more of a lazy person who didn't want to do an academic career. But being a creative is as hard as, you know, it's your brain's going at 1,000 per hour, you know, 20 tabs open and 2 of them are crashing. I mean, but I don't feel we have a strong supportive community. I think there's a lot of competitivity, and being in London, I've learnt that. And there's like a small community which is now, I think, growing away from that. But to be honest with you, I think I found more of the community to be more united in the States. I don't know if that's because I'm an outsider and I see it as soon as I get there or what, but I think, I don't know. I just don't think... I think it could be better. I think if people put their feelings and their jealousy to one side, we could be a united community, to be honest. What's one thing people don't know about you? Wow. What? So many things, but I don't know. Wow. What? I'll come back to that one in a minute. What is your creative process before shooting and editing? So before I shoot, I like to... Ideas have to be on the table. I really hate it when people want to do a shoot and there's no ideas. It just gives me a headache. I need mood boards, so I like to create my own mood boards. I like to have my mood board set into, you know, the model, then the makeup, the styling, location, and then the idea, or, you know, like the main idea or the narrative of the shoot. I like to style my own shoots, but it's becoming a bit stressful, so I'm working with other stylists at the moment. Yeah, you know, sending emails to PR agencies for clothing, to independent designers, sending messages to people who are down for modelling or straight to the agencies. And as for editing, it's pretty straightforward. I don't use Photoshop at all. I only use Lightroom. So it's just switching up the colour a lot. You know, I like to use... grain is a must in my images, always. There's never not a bit of grain on my pictures. I love it. I don't know, grain is a must. And then, you know, saturation, all of that, messing around with that a lot. But grain is always in my pictures, always. Photoshop, you won't really see me using it that much. I kind of contradicted myself. I said I didn't use it, now I don't use it that much, but I don't really use it at all. I don't. How important is it for you being a woman photographer in your field? What significance does it have to you, if any? So it's like that phrase, you can't be what you can't see. And that doesn't mean that there's no black female photographers out there. There's just not enough. So it's very important to me to be part of that community, to show younger generations that also want to be in the industry that, you know, you can do it. Don't let small things give you setbacks, and don't let the lack of representation also give you another setback. Yeah. It's a very important thing, I think. I don't know, it is. What significance does it have to you? A very big one, because, like I said, it's the importance of representation, basically. Because when you go back to, I don't know how many years... See, so my main inspiration in photography are white male photographers, because their photography is so classic, it's so feminine. So as photographers like Cecil Beaton or Norman Parkinson or Irving Penn, it's like very feminine and classic, and not only is it shot by a white male, but their subjects are also white. So I was kind of changing that perspective, you know. If you could have any photographer mentor, if you could have any photographer mentor you, who would it be and why? Cass Bird. They're an amazing photographer. I don't want to misuse pronouns here, but they're female identifying. But I love their photography so much. And they were one of the first photographers I looked into when I was still in college, alongside Steve McCurry. So I think those two are like... I love their work so much. I remember being in college and messaging Steve McCurry. I sent him an email saying, you know, I love your work, you're an inspiration to me. And he got back to me. I think that was another motivation for me to stick to photography. But yeah, I think those two. I really love their work. And there's so many other photographers that I love out there, but I think those two would be my main ones. I think. Campbell Addy as well, let me add that. Campbell Addy, he went to CSM in London. Amazing photographer. Another one I'm missing out, and Nadine Ijrari, who shot the front cover of Allure magazine with Rihanna, and she also shot Dua Lipa on the cover of Vogue. I think it was a January or the December one, I'm not really sure. But those two photographers who are more, they're on the rise. So yeah, those two photographers are also my top. So 4. I got 4. Is that allowed? How important is social media to a photography career? Social media's helped a lot, but I mean, you know, showing your work and getting new followings, getting a new audience, also gets you a lot of jobs. Yeah, I think it's important in that aspect, but I feel that if you were to take away Instagram and Twitter right now, I'm pretty sure I'll do fine, because my website is still there. But I don't know, I do feel like social media has helped creators a lot more, but I do think it's a very dangerous tool at the same time. What is one of the largest barriers you've had during your photography career? My health. My health has really set me back a few times. In the sense where I've had to come back home for like a few months, like to the most like 4 months in one go, where I couldn't go to uni or do any of my projects or shoot. And it really, when you can't create, it really puts you in a state where you're like, wow, I'm really useless right now. You know, so I feel like that's one thing. That's a huge barrier for me, I think, my health, because it's something that I can't control. And yeah. Also, not knowing a lot of people in the industry, so even though I'm from London, I do consider myself a foreigner in London, because I consider myself to be more Spanish because of my upbringing in Spain. But I think another barrier will be the networking. But yeah, I worked hard, and I'm trying to work even harder to get more of a networking circle, what do you want to call it? But yeah, what's a song you can listen to on repeat? Wow. So I like to listen to a lot of K-Tronada. I love K-Tronada so much. And I can listen to any of his songs on repeat. But I listen to a lot of dub music, so it's a lot of independent musicians. But if we're talking about people that are commercial and we know of, K-Tronada. a lot, and yeah. One song, I really can't put a finger on it, but let me just quickly go into my Apple Music and find it, because I feel like, you know what, I could have done this properly and planned this whole answering of questions a bit better. But Kaytranada, yeah, Kalila and Kaytranada, they did a song together, and it's called Waiting, 115 BPM, amazing. And then another one of Kaytranada that I love to listen to of him just on his own, if it's here, which it's not, would be probably listening to this right now thinking I'm weird, but I really can't find the other song. So yeah, let's stick to the first one. What is a funny story experience you've had as a photographer? Wow, okay, I've got one, because this is something that I will never forget. So I was on a shoot with the Slumflower, which I'm sure you know who she is. And, you know, towards the end of the shoot, I'm sitting down on the floor, packing my bag, and then I farted out of nowhere, and it was so embarrassing. And the good thing is that everyone, the stylist, makeup artist, and Slumflower, were like, you know, it's fine. It happens. Bodily functions. But that is something that I will never forget. Oh, wow. What styles of photography inspired the work you create today? So going back to the inspiration I was talking about earlier on. So, like, Hollywood's glamour shots, you know, this classic kind of black and white photography that Irving Penn did, and Norman Parkinson, and, you know, I really like that classic kind of, you know, I love it. It's very feminine, it's unique. There's nothing like it, and it's their names I always go back to when I'm looking for inspiration, always. And then if you're going to think of, like, more, I also love, like, Malik Sidibe photography. There's another photographer whose name I completely forgot. And it's along the lines of Malik Sidibe. What have I done? I hope I'm pronouncing their name right. But Seydou Keita is another one. Seydou Keita. I feel like I should type that. Yeah. Because it's a very, I don't think my pronunciation is right, basically. But I can always type that out on the email. So what styles, when you saw our page, what were your first thoughts? And what does PhotograpHER, wait, what? I feel that there's a mistypo there somewhere. Wow, my internet is so slow. I'm going to carry on to the next question. Have you ever felt discriminated against for certain gigs as a photographer because you're a woman? No, I've not really had that before. Never. And that's a very interesting question, because I never really heard any stories like it either. What makes you feel empowered? I don't know, being black. Straight up, I swear to God, it really does make me feel like, you know, I don't know, it just does. I can't really be like, oh, I don't know what else would make me feel more empowered than being black. For real. I'm being so serious. What is some advice you would give to anyone who may feel discouraged? Consistency is key. Social media, I feel like it makes people feel a type of way as well. When you're feeling like a type of way when you're on Instagram or Twitter or I don't know what other social media platforms people use, but just store it away for a bit, because I've had times where I feel like I'm not producing enough work, and I'm comparing myself to other people, and I'm just like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Let me put my phone away. And when I have done that, I feel much better. I can focus more on myself. I'm more, I don't know. You know, that's one thing. I don't know, just don't go on social media, because I feel that's a key ingredient of feeling discouraged or comparing yourself. What sound advice do you would give to a young girl picking up a camera and talking and thinking about pursuing photography? Again, consistency, working hard, shooting as much as you can, trying assisting with other photographers who are also, you know, creating their brand. Yeah, I feel like I'm not really answering questions properly because I'm getting brain farts all the time. But yeah, consistency is always key, and you know, working with other photographers, working with friends so you can grow your portfolio. Yeah, yeah. What is a mantra you live by? So I just tweeted something like an hour ago, and it is let self-love be your first language, and that's it. That will be my mantra forever. Because self-love is literally the key to everything. It is. It really is. And links to my work, I can add that in when I type everything now. But there's some questions that I need to answer because I didn't answer them properly. Okay, where is it? I need to go through. How would you define beauty? See, I still can't answer this because I don't know how I would define beauty. I think beauty is something that each person will have their meaning. And I think beauty to me is somebody that has a lot of confidence in themselves, somebody that has a lot of self-love for themselves, somebody that doesn't care what the society or the world has to say about them or their people, and they would just shine throughout that. I don't know if that's a correct answer, but I think beauty is somebody that has a lot of pride in themselves. Beauty is having a lot of passion in what you do, self-love. It's a mixture of all of that, I think. What people don't know about me. You know what? I don't bloody know. I think because I'm very vocal on my personal Instagram account, I don't think there's much people that know about me. I mean, I think people know that I'm plant-based. I don't want to say vegan because vegan is a lifestyle in itself. I used to bite my nails when I was a kid. I have a sneaker addiction. I love clothes, but I hate fast fashion. I'm not here for it. You'll catch me on eBay or on charity shops or buying one-offs. Wow, I really don't know what else to say about that. I don't think there's that much I can say. And what was the other one? I think it was when you saw our page PhotograpHER, what were your first thoughts and what does photographer mean to you personally as a woman artist? So when I first saw your page, I think it's great to have platforms that share other work of female photographers. So again, it's a community embracing what other communities aren't. Because when you ask me about, do you think there's a strong supportive community? I think even if it's just an Instagram account, I think accounts like that will create these communities. When you share people's work, they can find each other, and and what does photographer mean to you as a woman artist photographer? I mean, first of all, I never knew that you could do this with the word photographer, by the way, and this is something that I write 20 times a day at least. I'm exaggerating, but I do think that it's a very empowering word, and I kind of want to steal it from you guys. And I think it means a lot. It's a powerful word, basically. And I'm going to add in the other stuff that I should type, like the names of the photographers and the links to my work.